Greetings, welcome back to Age of Wonders for my custom faction showcase. Look, there's Gaia, right there, hiding. Hard to hide an Earth Giant. I guess I made an Earthstorm Giant, whatever. Let's just jump into it. Let's just jump into it. Let's just jump right into it, I probably kind of meant to say. Whatever, shut up. We ended with Chandra Nalar last time. We're going to start with these 10. We're going to go from Chris Perkins here to Drixl. Chris Perkins. So similar to Binwin Bronze Bottom back here and Aophel Elfromain. Chris Perkins, for many years, was the Dungeon Master of the Penny Arcade Expo. And he did a wonderful job. An amazing job. He came up with all these great storylines and quests, and he just knew the game inside and out, and he always made it really fun and entertaining and challenging. On top of that, he did a ton of great voices. And it was really funny when he'd slip out of character, because he was pretty good about staying in character most of the time, but he was so funny. As well as, I believe he was like the creative director of Dungeons and Dragons for many years. I think he just recently stepped out of that role. He was awesome. So I just wanted to make, I didn't want to make him exactly as he appears. He's just a guy with a shaved head, relatively handsome guy. But I'm like, we got to make like a cool, dungeon master, and I don't think I've ever used this head for anything. And I thought, and we've got our it's not really a D20. I think that's a 12-sided shape. Is that a dodecahedron? Maybe it's a D10. No, I think it's a D12. Yeah. And so I was just like, great, let's roll with it. And so that's how I came up with this guy. What's his build? He is the ritualist. I guess Dungeons and Dragons is sort of a ritual you play. Sure, why not? He was very adaptable. I don't know why I went with hardy. I don't know why I went with cold-blooded. Maybe did I just take Sirens? I don't know. Overwhelmed because, he's going to run lots of guys at us and got to fight him off. He summons NPC minions. In fact, that's what I named them. They're the NPCs. He's an Ancient Wise One, Adept Settlers. Yeah. That was kind of a fun one to build. Okay. Next. Not long ago, zoom out a little bit. Triumph had a little contest. They're actually running another one right now. But they had a contest to come up with a faction and give them a backstory and really flesh them out as much as possible, using the new tools where you can not only declare your all your city names, but you can do the tome paths, and you can show the rulers, and you can get really down nitty-gritty with the rulers or the heroes that show up in your game. So this was one of those, and this was I think this was maybe the first one I put together. Maybe the second one. I think it was actually the second one. Actually, here's the first one I did. But I didn't submit this one because I ended up just kind of scrapping this one. But I kind of got more interested in doing this one because I wanted to make what are they called? An Elysian race, and just really lean into all the new stuff. So that's what I did with this guy, and I'll walk through this one pretty in depth. There's a lot of cool bits to this one. I wanted to use the cool new Celestial Griffins because I think they're cool. And sort of the story I came up with is this race of Elysian people. They enchanted their just normal griffins, or they captured or summoned some celestial griffins, and the celestial griffins let them fly up to the stars and touch the stars and become one with the stars. So they sort of became these living constellations. Whoops.
Starts here.
And I thought that sounded really cool. As I thought about it, I was like, these guys kind of look like they're in blackface, which is 100% not what I was going for. 100%. I wanted, a skin like the night sky with this, constellations and stars, which I think looks kind of cool. But I realized it could be misconstrued as blackface. It is not that. I was not going for that. I wanted these guys to be called Skyborn. Even though they weren't really born in the sky, they touched the stars. So they were architects of astral, like they're magical dudes.
What defines their
diviners? They should probably be Empire of the Cosmos canonically. What's the other one I chose? Keepers of Knowledge. I'm just gonna change this right here. No. Gonna make them a little beep boop. Empire of the Cosmos and astrological diviners. They are space wizards, basically. They're Jedi. They are Jedi.
Your first tone of magic.
He's a champion.
Reveal yourself.
So one of the skin options is this really cool constellation. I was like, just think it's so neat, and it shows up best kind of on dark color skin. So that's why I suppose I could do brown. I could do less brown. I could do tan. But I'm just like, they got to be skyborn. Got to be like like the night sky. That's what I went with. Show off their
your journey begins.
Or advanced settings. Yeah, 3 city names. So all kind of astrological. 5 heroes. Cassiopeia. Let's see if I get. Did I write little stories for all of them? Oh no, I didn't. But I think each one of them was supposed to sort of represent like an affinity, right? She's like holy, or spirit rather. This guy is like astral. This guy, Artemis, would probably be nature. Like the Greek or Roman god. I forget which one Artemis is. The great huntress rather. I love the wings covering the eyes for like. Oh look, she's got just a little bit of green in her hair. Nice. I love the wings covering the eyes, but she's got the third eye, and she's a hunter. There's something kind of cool about that. I feel like Ares, god of war, chaos. Again, he's got wings clipping through his helmet. Big, chunky, red armor. Dig it. Hephaestus, I think, must have been. He must have been a defender. Leads me to believe he was Materium. Yeah, he's got kind of like coppery bronze armor and stuff like that. Creator, yeah, totally is Materium. And then Persephone, probably a Death Knight. Yep, goddess of like night and death or something. Yep, that was these guys. Kind of a fun one to put together. I got even more creative as I went along. There's one in here that I went way off the deep end cooking up,
What is your
and
form?
it's pretty silly. It's a pretty silly one. I didn't win. Fine, but man, I put a lot of thought into mine. I really thought I had a good chance. But yeah, you'd submit one faction in blackface and nobody likes you anymore. It's not blackface. They have constellation skin. That's what I was going for. Enough about them. Cloud Strife. Any Final Fantasy VII fans out there? I am. I played it back on the original PlayStation 1 when I was in high school. I believe I was a freshman in high school when it came out. It's what got me into PlayStation. It was such a good game. It's still a really good game. I haven't gone back to play the remakes. I don't know how I feel. Well, I don't like that it was broken up into like 5 full price games or 3 full price games or $75 games for like one game that originally was like $50. Nope, don't like that. And I don't like that it's sort of like an action RPG now. I liked boring old turn-based because I'm a nerd and I have bad reflexes. Anyway, this is Cloud Strife. He is I couldn't remember what Materium Cloud starts with. Either a fire materia or a lightning materia. I'm pretty sure it's fire, though. Human. Why eagle mounts? Chocobos. Yeah. Yep. And he's strong. He's Oathsworn. Oathsworn Harmony. Because why? Because he likes... Because he has, Darn it, stop doing that. Because... Yeah, there. He's kind of the ringleader for most of the game. And he has lots of other characters and races in his roster of buddies. He's a vigilante, meaning he goes on quests for rewards, and he's a chosen uniter. I have not every Final Fantasy VII character, well, definitely not character, but like main character. One or two, like I didn't do Cid. I never really liked Cid. He's just a guy with a spear. Now, if I could do Cid's airship, I think the airship in Final Fantasy VII is super cool. Super cool. I actually like the one in, I think it was 8, where they had that like crazy like dragon-looking airship. That one was bananas. That one was so cool. But I actually hated Final Fantasy VIII. I've tried so many times to play through it. I just can't stand the main character. Main character in 7, Cloud, is just kind of this just like... he's not exactly emotionally detached, but he's just kind of like, alright, whatever, let's go do this now, right? Squall? Squall? No. Yeah? I think it was Squall in Final Fantasy VIII. So whiny. And then that became the, like, archetype for, like, the next 3 or 4 protagonists for Final Fantasy games. They were really whiny. I hated them. And on top of that, Squall was kind of, like, emo whiny, so it's just like, ugh, I couldn't stand him. He really killed the game for me. And I really liked Materia, and I didn't like the magic system in Final Fantasy VIII. It felt kind of like stripped back and at the same time overly complicated. Didn't like it. Let's take a look at his appearance. Let's see. He vanilla? No, he's not. He's all custom. All custom. So he's using some just... No, that didn't even change. Some regular old shirt. Got the cloak. I don't think he needs the cloak. Yeah, I don't think that's adding much. I think we just get rid of that. Look like junk. Maybe that. Maybe that's okay. I just didn't like the raggy looking things. No, I don't think that. No, I don't think that. Nah, I think he was alright the way he was. That second one that we picked. That's not bad. I don't think he really had much of a cloak, right? Yeah, I like that one because it kind of just, it looks like the shoulder pads are being held onto his shirt. So I'm just going to stick with that one. Plus we get it'll be flat back here. And yeah, and couldn't figure out a good face or hairstyle. Not really a very, like, crazy anime hairstyle. So I just had to go with one of the crazy, actually that one's not too bad. That one's maybe even a little spikier. Cloud Strife has a very wackadoo hairstyle, very anime. I actually kind of like that one better. The root color needs to be more. Maybe this is like more of a, whoops, come here you, more of a white blonde. Definitely not white. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's looking pretty good and natural. I like it. I like it. Face, I mean, he's got typical pointy chin anime face, and so kind of trying to make it nearly 30-year-old video game characters in a modern day game doesn't always translate well. But I think I did pretty good. I think it's like the shoulder pads and the pants and the sword, like that's what makes Cloud. Yeah. Yep. Update him.
Starts here.
Okay. We started with Chris Perkins. Dark Urge. Baldur's Gate 3 character. I have not played the Dark Urge very far. Again, this isn't, I've gotten about as far as the Emerald Grove, and I get bored trying to do all the side quests in there because there are just so many when you get to the Emerald Grove. And you know, I could kind of stomach the horrible things. I'm just telling myself like, all right, this is what, you know, the dark side of the game looks like. I didn't love it, but like I'm telling myself like I'm experiencing the game from another angle, and I was okay with it. Though we did kill Alfira, which I kind of loved Alfira. Alfira is cute. But yeah, Dark Urge. He is a he's an elementalist. He's a sorcerer in Baldur's Gate. In Tongue Pyromancy, lizard folk, cold-blooded, poisonous, tenacious. These might be the stock standard lizard folk. Wasn't he a cannibal? Oh, I got it. Never mind. We got there. And Signs of Evil. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy about him. What? I wonder if his outfit was custom or not. I'm kind of more impressed when I get the outfits without the Age of Fashions mod, because it's like, yeah, I knocked it out. Easy peasy. And it looks like it is vanilla. Good job, me. Good job. And I love this, like, cloak. I think you even get a cloak fairly early in the game that's, like, really good for sneak heroes. And it's, like, something to do about, like, bonuses to hide in shadows or something like that. So I'm like, well, we've got that, so great. That is the Dark Urge.
What is your people's form?
I've heard it's a really cool storyline. I can't get past the Emerald Grove. It just that part just starts to feel really samey over and over again. Maybe I should just skip the Grove. I don't know. Okay, so this is just Eldritch Sovereign guy. I just wanted death, just death. The Grim Reaper. Yeah, he comes for you and you die, or you know it's your time. And yep, that's death. Nothing too crazy. And at channelers. That's an odd choice. He summons, I guess, Bolt of Death. He's a necromancer, so he's going to summon lots of skeletons and stuff. Yep, easy peasy. That's an easy one. Demona. Okay, this is another Gargoyles character. She was kind of she was sort of the villain. It was sort of the antithesis to the protagonist, who was this big hulking gargoyle named Goliath. And Demona started the show as Goliath's betrothed. And after some catastrophic event, after an event that caused the gargoyles to basically get like stonified for 1,000 years or something like that. I think she like manages to, she doesn't get stonified and she is alive for those thousands of years, and she gets all bent out of shape and angry, and she becomes like a sorceress, and she's very angry at Goliath. And she's a pretty badass character. Also, she's voiced by I don't remember the actress's name, but she's voiced by Deanna Troi from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and she's great at it. She plays an awesome villain. She does a great job. I think I'm gonna boot up a game because she has this infernal spawn, which gives her wings and horns and stuff, and makes her look 1,000 times cooler like a gargoyle. So stand by. I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, there she is. You see, she doesn't have wings. This guy has wings. I guess I didn't talk about their actual build. Why did I take Tome of the Tentacle? We learned some, like, dark magic. Maybe I just took it just because... I don't remember why I took that. She's a powerful evoker. Okay, so watch, it's going to ask, do I want to make her like the rest of my race? And I will say, these are my people. I will be like them. Notice, no wings. Now we got wings. And she, like, Now she looks a lot like her character in the TV show. I can't remember if her character had horns or not. I think she did. So yeah. Sneaky way to make gargoyles. That was fun. Exit the main menu and not accidentally exit the game entirely. I always hit exit game a lot of times when I'm trying to go back to the menu, and I'm like, no, gotta watch everything. And cool, there she is again. Turned out really awesome. Okay.
Your journey starts here.
To Chris Perkins. Or Chandra, rather. I talked about Demona. Here's another proto character. She's my proto elf. Very pretty. Faelurian is the name of a fae goddess of sensuality in Patrick Rothfuss's books, Kingkiller Chronicles. And I was like, I don't have a good elf name, so I went with Faelurian. I forget where I came up with Dinnae. I may have just always thought that kind of sounded like an elf name. They're proto elves. They got standard stuff. They're high. Because I don't know. I don't really have a good reason why they're high. Maybe I just didn't have another high character. Maybe they should be primal or feudal. I think the high looks right. They kind of. I think I was trying to make these guys kind of look like the elves from Lord of the Rings. You know, they had that really ornate aesthetic. Lots of kind of not necessarily. Did they have gold armor? I can't remember. But that's kind of what I was going for here. And I love the elk mounts. I think the elk looks so cool. Or whatever this is. Are they what they are? No. But yeah. Dinnae Faelurian. Yep. Okay, like I said. Dopplebock The Opulent. This was a character I started sort of conceptualizing for the contest. And my idea for this guy was, he's a dwarf, obviously, and he's a king, and he loves beer. He loves beer so much, he migrated above ground, and he started planting crops and collecting unusual ingredients to make all sorts of exotic beers. And so that was kind of what I was going for with this guy. And I got to the point where I was trying to make heroes for him, and I'm just like, I don't know how I do that. So I kind of scrapped this guy, but I liked his name, Dopplebock the Opulent. Dopplebock is the name of a kind of beer. I think it's a dark German beer. And yeah, even though dark beer, I went with kind of the green to represent, he's agricultural and a farmer, and he took Tome of Alchemy because he's all about brewing, and he's an architect of nature because he wanted to build an agricultural society. So that's kind of what I came up with this character. Okay, that's a cool one. I like this one. I like the way this one came out. This is Drackanon Grekk. I love the name. I came up with that name. That's mine. I made that name. I may have hit the reroll a bunch of times to kind of I do that sometimes to kind of pick little parts of names that I like, and then I end up with seemingly custom name. Drackanon Grekk is of the e.08, which is turns out the canonical name for the Predators in the Predator movie. And the last Predator movie that came out, I think it was the last one, with Dakota Fanning, pretty good. All the Predator movies are kind of similar. The e.08 are these alien hunters that basically go on safari to hunt dangerous species. That's their jam. That's what they do. And they have all this advanced technology, and a lot of times the things they're fighting just don't even stand a chance. They have shoulder-mounted rail guns that auto-target. How they miss anything, I don't know. They've got all this crazy technology, and they're just powerful and brutal, and they're not opposed to just punching something to death. That's what I came up with this character. They've found their way to the Age of Wonders 4 planet, and they're going to hunt down the greatest warriors and add their skulls to their collection. Made them reavers because they have guns. But this guy's all about, like, melee. He wants to get in and do melee action. They're chosen destroyers. They're just gonna kill everybody that poses a threat to them, and they're fabled hunters. Pretty straightforward. I don't think I did any special characters, but his outfit might be custom. Let's take a look. I'm pretty sure it is. It doesn't quite look like all the same uniform armor. I think I kind of just picked the most organic and spiky looking armor that I could come up with. Oh, the cape. All right, I like the little cape. It's got that must be the one with skulls. No, skulls are coming from something else. But yeah, full on custom, like that Roman. But I like the way it kind of looks, kind of like organic muscle and big, funky, pointy armor, and yeah, armored pants, armored waist, armored. Gotta have an armored skirt. Never leave home without an armored skirt. Oh, it's actually not armored, it's bones. Yeah. Because the Yutja hunt and collect the skulls, I figured anything with a skull on it probably gets a pass. Yeah, so those skulls there. Cauldrons. There might have been one with skulls, but I think I kind of like the weird, semi-organic, pointy metal cauldrons. Yeah. And then the symbol is supposed to sort of represent the targeting reticule of their little side-mounted or shoulder-mounted railgun things. Yeah. I thought that one came together pretty good. I don't know if he's ever showed up in my games, which makes me sad, because I think he turned out really cool. And I like his name, Drackanon Grekk. That sounds very kind of alien and weird. All right, last one. This one's gonna be a long one. This one's a doozy. So my character that I take my name from, Drixl, this is his father. Drixl is a tiefling, and his father is Drixl, and it's kind of a little built-in joke there. Like, Drixl is like Mr. Ixl. Drixl is sort of like Dr. Ixl. He's sort of like a Dr. Evil type character. He's just a big, bad, evil bad guy. Wants to take over the world, is maybe like an evil senator or evil, power-hungry dude, and he lives in a castle, and he, reigns supreme over his domain, and he's just not a nice guy. He's just like a typical evil sorcerer guy. I came up with this little story myself. I had ChatGPT condense it and then condense it again and then condense it again, because what I ended up writing was 4 times this long. So if this is the bare bones, shortest possible version of it, I could get ChatGPT to shrink it down to. And so Drixl is very much not like him. Drixl is very friendly and nice and wants to help people and wants to go out in the world and experience new things, whereas Drixl is just not that. But even though Drixl and Drixl don't see eye to eye, Drixl very much, in his own kind of secret way, very much cares for his son, and is happy to see him succeed, even though it's in a much different pursuit than him. And the little crown wearing, that's supposed to be the do more today headset. In my mind, the little headset that Drixl came up with, the Do More Today device, since I created Drixl for Dungeons & Dragons game, the Do More Today headset would let you create Mage Hand. So if you're working on something with your 2 hands, you need a 3rd hand, you just Mage Hand something in with your little headset. And it it's you ever seen someone who's trying to tie a bow and can I have your finger? That's what the Mage Hand would do. The Mage Hand would just put the finger down, you could tie the little knot. Done with it. So that's the Do More Today headset. Instead of the Doomsday device, it's the Do More Today. That was my little gag. Then it never actually came up in my D&D games. That's just something I like to kind of end my magical, canonical fantasy of the Tintinabar family. Yep, so that's our 10. And the symbol, I think every one of the Tintinabar has purple as a background. Because, I don't know. Because why not? So that's our 10. That was a fun one. We went over a lot of cool ones in this episode. Yeah. All sorts of cool stuff in this. I don't know if this guy's ever showed up in my games either. A lot of these guys have not showed up in my games. Unlike Barsis, who's been in, like, more than his fair share. Anyway, thank you for joining me. This has been another episode of my Custom Faction Showcase. This is not Drixl, this is Demona. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get them all done. And it will be in like 10 years from now. Because I keep adding more. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.